Hello everyone and welcome back to Nails and Sunflowers, or welcome if you're new. In today's video I'm going to show you step by step the whole process of me doing a manicure with a client. These are going to be Christmas nails in blue sparkly glitter. It's so pretty. I am very glad that she chose this. She did show me, you'll see, she showed me inspiration photo. I don't know the artist because it was a screenshot from Pinterest that she took a while ago and she didn't have the reference, but we pretty much did them exactly the same as the picture except for the snowflakes. But in any case, it was a very good choice in my opinion. So for now I am removing what she was wearing with a green abrasive carbide bit on 35 rotations per minute. On forward, obviously. This set was like this plaid sweater nails. She also brought an inspo picture and we took it as inspiration. We didn't exactly replicate it. Last time she, as you can see, she had them very short. This, I think it's been either 3 or 4 weeks that she's had these nails on. And you can see the nails have grown, but she did do them very, very short last time. I don't really remember why. She doesn't usually go that short, but so as you can see on the middle finger, she had quite a bit of lifting from the cuticle. I'm not sure why. I don't remember if she told me that she knocked this finger somewhere, because that tends to happen with the middle finger, sadly, because it's the longest finger and the nail is usually 1 to 2 centimeters longer as well. It tends to be the one that suffers the most. At least that's what happens to me and to most of my clients. So I'm pretty sure there's something happened there that she doesn't remember. She did say she did not feel anything and that it didn't bother her, so I'm very glad with that. And yeah, today the video is going to be long, grab a snack, because I'm showing you everything. I have not cut anything other than me being out of focus, or at the very end you're gonna see I skipped how I did the thumbs because I did them exactly like her middle and index finger, so I didn't want you to watch 6 times the same thing. Also, as you can see on this right hand thumb, she also has lifting. I think this is because of old product that she had underneath. It was a base that a gel, sorry, the builder gel that didn't really agree with her. This happens rarely, but sometimes that builder gel is good and I wear it, I test it, it's good on me and other clients, but then there's this one client that just does not last well. Even if I use the same rubber base underneath, even if I use the same technique, the same kind of length for the nails, like it doesn't matter. It's just, I don't know. This is at least my experience. I may be wrong, but so far it's happened rarely, but sometimes. So I just take note of that on my client list and I avoid using that again. But I suppose I left tiny bit too much. Like instead of getting to the rubber base when I removed it last time, I left a bit of the gel and that caused the new gel to lift, because you are going to see that she had no lifting on any other nail than that. Thinking about it, that might be what happened on the middle finger as well, but I'm not sure. In any case, she is a mom and a teacher of really small kids, 3-year-olds, so I'm not surprised sometimes that her nails are, you know, a bit knackered, but it's fine. She knows that as well, and she's very responsible with her appointments. She always comes on time. She takes her appointments, she pre-books her appointments, so it's all good. As I was saying before, she did her nails quite short last time, and that's why today she told me not to really shorten them much, and that is why I'm not shortening them with the carbide bit, with my e-file. I would usually do that if it's a client that always gets, let's say, the same length and she only wants the growth to be removed, which is most of my clients. I would just remove that with the e-file so it's easier, and then with the new technique for the gel, I just prep the nails with the hand file, and I don't do shape filing until the very end when all the gel is applied. So because we didn't take any length off, I am just prepping the nails with a 180 abrasive hand file, as always using my Stalex metal base, and I attach the hand file so everything is sanitized for every client. And basically what I'm doing is, again, as always, it does not seem like it, but very gently opening the pores of the nails and just doing that on every single one, just making sure that all the surface of the nail is prepped. I don't really care about the shape on this step. I usually would with my old technique, but for almost a year now I've been using this one, and to be honest, it's given me amazing results. I am very glad I took that course, and I am very glad I improved my skills and just changed the technique. It took me a while, not gonna lie. Changing the I would take probably twice the amount of time. So from 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30 minutes, I went to almost 3 hours for every nail set, which was a bit of a bummer. But not only for me, but for the client as well. I know, people are busy. They don't have time to be 3 hours painting their nails, especially if it's like a simple set. I'm not talking about what you're going to see today, which was kind of a lot of nail art, but just a simple solid color. It would still take me 2 hours or over 2 hours for sure, 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that, which is a lot. But it didn't take me long to get used to the technique and improve my timing. Right now, for this set, I took almost 2 hours, but it's because, as I said, we did a lot of nail art. If I'm doing a solid color, I usually take 1 hour and 20, maybe 1 hour 30, depends on how long the nails are, and if the client needs to fix some nails or like crooked nails or broken nails, etc., etc. But if it's like today that I don't really need to do any of that and her sidewalls are okay, I don't need to lift the nail too much, then yeah, it's about 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30, which is okay for me. That is what I aim for. So I'm really happy right now about this. The retention is amazing. And yeah, as I said, I'm going to show you every step. So for the first time that I do something, like you saw the first hand that I removed on all the nails, or the prepping of the nail, I show you in real time how slow or fast I work, however you want to take it. And then when it's a repetitive thing, I just speed it up to 200 or 300%. Because as you can see, it's a long video, we don't want to make it longer, do we? And now once it's all prepped, I take my orange wood stick. See, this is real time. This is how, again, slow or fast I work. And I'm just pushing the cuticles first and then lifting them up. And lastly, just making sure that everything's lifted. With the orange wood stick, I just go around the whole cuticle once more. And yeah, I do that with all the nails because I feel like this is a very, very important step for the Russian manicure to be smooth. If you don't do this properly, then you may struggle with your flame bit, you may struggle with hurting your client. You also need to be really careful when you do this. Some clients are still a bit skeptical about Russian manicures. I'm gonna say this, but it sounds wrong, but I'm trying to educate them into what a true Russian manicure is and how safe it actually is. I rarely make a client bleed, very rarely, and it's usually because they move and It's a very tiny bit that you're working, like in the video, red abrasive mark, flame bit at, I think this was 16,000 rotations per minute. Rotations depend on the client's skin, their nails, how much cuticle you have there, how much you actually need to remove. But basically, this is not supposed to hurt your client, neither be painful or, cause any obviously bleeding or any cuts. That's really not what you should be doing. And if your client is experiencing some sort of pain, it might be because you're using the wrong bit or the wrong rotations per minute, the wrong pressure, the wrong angle. There's something there that's not working, but you really need to figure it out. Otherwise, you are going to hurt your client, and you never want to do that. So yeah, once I went on all the left side of her nails on one hand, I moved to the other hand. This is on forward, sorry, I didn't say that. And this is sped up, obviously. You saw the difference now. I go, as I said, on the left side, make sure that everything is clean and lifted and ready to cut with the scissors later on. And you're gonna see that once I'm done with that, I switch to reverse on the same rotations, and I go on the right side wall of both hands as well. For reference, this is a client that has been coming to me for Russian manicures and gel structure manicures for, I think it's 3 years now, either 3 or 4, I'm not really sure. I would say 3. And you can see the condition of her nails. They're completely healthy, fine. There are no red marks on the nail plate, which is what you would look for if you used the file wrong. They're not over-filed, there's no sensitivity, and as you can see as well, she is not having any kind of reaction to the Russian manicure. And this is what I mean when I say that it should not be painful for your client at all. So now with the scissors, I am going around the cuticle from right side wall to left side wall, carefully removing all the dead skin. It's very important that you angle your scissors correctly and that you go slow and check for any kind of movement from your client. And they don't realize, but when they speak, when they're typing on their phone, when they're doing anything other than just sitting there quietly, they do move their hands slightly. And with such tiny scissors and such sensitive skin that this is, you could cut them more than you should in the blink of an eye, and you never want to do that. So just either make sure that you tell her how important it is that she doesn't move, or just be careful yourself as well. Especially as well if you notice any reaction to your cut. Like before I completely cut with the tip of the scissors, I hold, let's say, the skin there for like a millisecond to see if she has any kind of reaction to it. If she does, it means I'm cutting too much. That's basically how I manage. As you can see, she is not having any, and we were talking at this point. We were talking for pretty much the whole duration of the manicure. I find it really funny to watch cuticle cutting with the scissors sped up. It feels so wrong to go that fast with the scissors. In any case, I then move on to polishing the cut and polishing the skin. First with the flame bit, the same one that I used. On 8,000 rotations per minute, I just go around with the, let's say, the lower part of the bit itself. I'm not using the tip as I did when I was cleaning the skin under the cuticle. I'm just going over with, let's say, the tummy of the e-file bit. And I go, as always, over the skin and underneath the cuticle as well, because you need to polish there too. This and the next step with the silicone bit is what's going to make sure that you don't get any hang skin in the next few weeks until your next manicure. And just to make sure that the skin is really polished and looks healthy. I feel like this is the main difference between a, let's say, traditional manicure and the Russian one. When I used to do traditional ones on myself, I would get hang skin all of the time because you don't polish the skin. You cut it with the nippers and you start doing, you know, the design or whatever it is that you're doing. And that feels so wrong now because I know how bad that is for the skin. You need to polish the cut, always. You could just work a bit more with the flame bit and polish the skin completely with that. But I prefer to do this first and then move on with a green silicone bit at 9,000 rotations per minute. For reference, by the way, this video is long, almost 55 minutes, but the removal, prep and Russian manicure does not take half of that. It takes a bit less. I would say right now my removal time is about 7 to 8 minutes if I want to do it properly with no major lifting, obviously. The prep is quite fast, like maybe 2 minutes, and the Russian manicure depends on the skin. On this video, this client, she has almost perfect skin. She gets almost no cuticle. She's lucky. She does not really take care of her skin, as in using cuticle oil or cream or anything. But you can see it seems like she does. She has beautiful hands and beautiful nails and cuticles. So for her, it's quite fast. I would say I took about 20 minutes doing the Russian manicure. And usually, even if it's a more complicated one, I would take up to 30 or something like that. Whereas for gel application and design, especially nail art, that's the whole lot of the manicure usually. Now, as you can see, we're trying to decide how to combine the light blue glitter with deeper one. And I have quite a few, but the ones both I ended up using are from the new collection from Semilac for Christmas. We like them combined, and obviously I hadn't thought about it, but you can see she's like, yeah, those two. They look really pretty together. And now we are trying to decide what base to use for the Frenchies. We ended up going for something very light, almost a milky white, but it does have a pink going through it. excuse me now, but you could see I touched my Apple Watch to do I don't know what, and I somehow changed the zoom from 1 to 0.5. I don't know, you guys. I don't even think this is 0.5. I think it's a bit more, 0.7 or something. I don't know how I did that, okay? I'm sorry. This is the second time that I'm filming while I'm doing a client, and it's really stressful. So I'm glad at least that you can still see what I'm doing. And to be honest, what you're missing is the base and gel application, and I think maybe the filing, which you don't really need to see up close. It would have been nice to have that footage right, but I don't think it's crucial. I would have been much more devastated if I had zoomed out while I was doing nail art, because I think you do need to be a bit more zoomed in for that. But in any case, as you can see, I did dehydrator, acid-free primer, and then the rubber base. I just do a little blob on the tip, and I grab my oval gel brush number 6, and I apply the little bit that I had on the tip all over the nail, in the let's say thinnest way possible, and I really rub it in, massage it in into a nail plate. I feel like this is what gives the most natural looking nails when you're doing gel structure nails, and especially adhesion. I feel like this is such a crucial moment, using the rubber base and making sure that that's all over the nail plate, even under the cuticle. That's why I use the gel brush instead of the bottle brush, because it really allows me to go deep under the cuticle and to make sure the layer is as thin as possible. So for the gel, she did choose the color. It's not that I chose what gel to use, but basically what I did is direct her into gels that I know will work well for her nails. If she had not liked any of the gels that, let's say, work well for her kind of nails, I would have just asked her to choose another gel polish color that I have for French nails. I have all the gels with a tiny bit of color, and then I have a collection of gel polishes, about 20, 30, that are for French nails, that are like this really semi-transparent pinks and nudes that work with every skin tone pretty much. I would have asked her to choose one of those and just use the gel, builder gel, that I find suits her best. But since she did like this color and it is one of the gels that work well with her, I just left that as the base color for the French, if that makes sense. To be honest, I'm really, really, really loving this Luna Moon Builder Gel. Not only the color, but yeah, the color as well. I feel like it suits so many skin tones, so many nail plates, including myself, which I generally don't like. You're really not going to see me much wearing these kind of colors or French nails, but with these, I wore it on its own for a few days while I was in between manicures, and I didn't mind. Like, I actually liked my nails, and I kept looking at them like, how pretty. And I think that says a lot about the color, but also the consistency of this is perfect. Like, you can correct nails, you can do, as I said, corrections, you can fix crooked nails without needing dual forms or normal forms. You can work with, I would say, for longer nails, 2 nails at a time. You can see me, I'm working with 1 nail at a time here, as in I'm making her cure the nail one by one. But I could have done 2 at the time and it would have been just as perfect. And for really short nails that don't really need much builder gel to begin with, I do 4 at a time, which saves me so much time. And I've tried to do this with pretty much all my builder gels. I can't speak. And this is the only one that's actually allowed me to do this without the gel running all over the sidewalls, me having to flip the hand 500 times. No, I did not need to do this at all, which is just amazing if you ask me. Like, this is the deal, you know? And for the price point that this has, I would say run to get it. I only have this color, but I do plan on getting pretty much all they have. I'm lying, I have another one that I used on myself that has shimmer through it, and yeah, that all, it's not exactly the same kind of builder gel. I think they call it diamond gel because it has the glitter, but it works wonders just the same. So as advertised, I am gonna let you watch the whole process, sped up, but the whole process nonetheless. So you are gonna see me do every single nail, and I'm gonna shush and let you enjoy that. So once all the application is done, I'm going in with alcohol and a lint-free wipe, and I'm taking off all the sticky layer. I'm grabbing back my dust collector that I removed for comfort, pretty much, for the application of the gel. And right now I am gonna do the shape filing and making sure that the nails look as natural as possible and the shape is right. So I go on the tip. She wanted round nails, so I went on an angle, let's say, at the tip. Then I am making sure the shape is right on both side walls, and then I make sure that the side walls are not overflowed with product. You want the right shape, the right structure, and yeah, that's what I make sure. I would do this on the application before I was using this technique. But in the end, sometimes I would need to file down the gel after the application. And it would take me just the same amount of time or longer. And now I don't really care much for the right, let's say the right apex and shape on top of the nail while I'm doing application. I want like a rough base to work with. And then I make sure that everything is perfect with my hand file. It saves a lot of time on application, obviously, that you later on use with the hand file. But the end result, for me at least, is much, much, much better than with the old technique that I had. And I can correct crooked nails and broken nails and missing sidewalls and everything on application without needing to use a form, acrygel or dual forms or any other thing. Because if I was using a gel that does not allow me to do this on its own, I would use jelly gel, and again, no need to use anything else. I'm still trying to figure out how to work with the dust collector with this technique, because it is kind of annoying to have to put it out and then back in. So for a few clients now, I have not moved the dust collector while I'm applying the gel. Then I use it as you're seeing right now in the video. And when I am doing nail art or color application, I do put it on the side. for comfort, pretty much. I wouldn't need to, but you know, it's more comfortable if you don't have that thing in the middle. Some people do ask me, why do I bother to use the dust collector while I'm just like shape filing and not like, because I don't do much filing, as you can see in the video. It's not like it takes me ages, it's quite quick. And there isn't much dust. But the thing is, I have clients all day and I want to protect my lungs. You guys, I'm wearing a mask and everything, but it's a lot of dust. Even if it's just 5 minutes of filing and you don't really see much, it's there. And I don't want it in my lungs or my clients' lungs, to be honest. I want them to be healthy as well. So anytime there's going to be any dust in the air, even if it's just a Russian manicure, I use my dust collector. Now with the tiny carbide bit, I think this is green abrasive, at 20,000 rotations per minute, I'm going underneath the nails, making sure again that the nails look as natural as possible and that the tip of the nail is as thin as possible, just so it has the right structure and strength to hold on, but making sure that the nail is not thick for the client. I feel like this is the most visible change for them. I've had clients come back when I switched techniques telling me, what did you do different? This feels so much more comfortable than before. So yeah, I really think this does a trick. Also, if you have lifting problems, because you are inevitably removing part of the tip of the natural nail underneath, this will save you pretty much a lot of lifting on the tip of the nails. I've not had lifting from the tip of the nails for as long as I've been using this, for almost a year. I sometimes get lifting because of other reasons on the cuticle, as we mentioned before in the beginning of the video, but on the tips of the nails, which used to be kind of a problem with some clients, nope. That was fixed the moment I started using this technique, which is a bonus as well. And then obviously making sure both hands are on the same length, and as always, I go index and ring finger on the same length, middle finger 1 to 2 centimeters longer, pinky 1 to 2 centimeters shorter, and thumb 2 to 3 centimeters longer as well. So once all the shaping is done and the nails are prepped underneath as well, I move on to the design. As I said, I put the dust collector somewhere else for comfort, And I grabbed the colors, and now it's just time to paint. So with the lighter glitter, we are going to do a faded French on index and middle finger. Originally I was going to do one layer of this because I thought it would be thick enough, the gel polish with the glitter. But when I faded it, you're going to see it looks too light compared to how 2 coats of the glitter will look on the pinky. I wanted the same consistency on both, let's say. And I wasn't getting that with 1 layer on the French, so I ended up doing 2 layers on all 3 of the nails. And as always, I'm grabbing my liner. I think this is 11 millimeters, and I'm going under the cuticle so the growth is as less visible as possible for the longest time. And now with the, what's the name of this brush? I don't know. Fading brush? Whatever this is. You know what it is. I'm just fading the French. I find that obviously glitters are much easier to fade than solid colors. But with this one I struggled a little bit. Not much, but I felt like the glitters were not moving as I wanted them to move. And I'm not sure if it's because it has different chunks of glitter in it, which is what makes it so pretty in my opinion. But yeah, I was struggling a bit. That's also why I chose to do 2 layers. And now with the other color, it's a deeper blue with different colors of glitter, and it's so pretty. We're going on the ring finger, and this is gonna be plain solid color. I say plain, but this color is anything but plain. It's so beautiful. And then once that's done, I'm obviously going to move on to the other hand and do the same. You are going to see that I forgot to do the ring finger, and I sent her to cure that hand before I applied it, but it's fine. I'm gonna reverse it on the next step. I'm not making sense right now, but you are gonna see what I mean. So see, I sent the hand in without the ring finger with color. So now instead of doing this second coat on the ring finger, I'm not going to touch it, so that on the next step we're going to be at the same level on both hands. I know it wouldn't matter, and I could have just done a second layer now, but my brain can't cope. Like, I need both hands to be at the same exact step, otherwise I get so mixed up and so confused, and so does the client, honestly. So yeah, I want both hands to be exactly the same all the time. And as I said, this glitter with 2 coats for the French just looks better, you know? It looks fuller, it looks more faded. Yeah, I just like it a lot better, and I feel like it matches the pinky a lot more. So now, because I do have to do a French, normal French in white on top of this, the glitter was quite chunky. So I applied a really thin layer of base coat. I think I'm using a Betsy one. And yeah, it's just to level up everything so I can paint the French without having all the chunks of glitter in the middle. And now for the French, I grabbed my gel paint in white and I'm going for a normal French, not really thin, not really thick, just making sure that it's visible on top of the glitter and that you can see that there's a double French there. So the faded glitter and the French on top. A good balance pretty much, so neither the fade or the French overflow the other one, if that makes sense. But yeah, so it's visible that there is a double French. I'm really sorry for my head in the middle of the shot sometimes. You probably realized by now that I did realize I moved the zoom on the camera before I started nail art. But yeah, I still get, my head is still in the middle sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a way to so this doesn't happen when I'm filming, but it's hard. It's really hard because I really need to go in sometimes and look at the details from up close. But yeah, I'm trying my best. Bear with me. And now for the snowflakes, I am gonna do 3 different ones on all 3 nails that have the double French with the snowflake. For the index finger, I'm using the same gel paint, by the way. I grabbed a different brush, as you saw, it's smaller and thinner. And for this one, the index, I'm doing, let's say, the 4 lines across, then diagonally over both of them, and then I'm just bringing out, let's say, the tips of of every line so that it has the shape of the snowflake and it doesn't just look like a weird cross. You can see I use very little product and I pretty much drag down some of the color a lot of times instead of grabbing new. I feel like this is what makes it not overflow and make the lines look as thin as possible. Even though you do want them to be visible, because otherwise you would not see them on top of the glitter. now for the middle finger, I did the dotting technique. I grabbed a dotting tool and I did dots, like I did the same lines as before, but with dots, and then I dragged the product all over them. I'm explaining myself so bad. I hope you can see it properly and understand what I'm talking about. And now for top coat, we do need to level the nail and make the structure look right, otherwise it's going to look bumpy because of the glitter and the French and the snowflake, obviously. You don't want any weird volumes around your nail, let's say. So I'm applying a thin layer first. I'm using a UV top, no wipe by the way. Again, applying a thin layer and then grabbing a little blob and just trying to level up the right structure back. I do flip the hands a lot while I'm doing top coat on top of nail art. I find that it works best. And I also grab the liner brush and move it, like move the product as much as I need to until I'm happy with it. If it does happen that it cures in the wrong shape, you can always go back with a buffer and perfect the shape and then apply a thin layer of top coat on top of it. But I try to avoid that, not only because it's more time, but also because there's more thickness that you don't really need there, I feel like. Now the thumbs, I did not show you the whole process because you already saw me do them 4 times, the double French I mean. So I'm moving on directly to nail art. For this one we chose stamping instead of painting because we wanted kind of a different snowflake that I wasn't sure if it was going to come out exactly as I wanted it if I had hand painted it. So I decided to use the stamp. I was not happy with how the stamp came off. came out, sorry, so I just wiped it off with a bit of acetone, and I went in again with a different one. And then once that is dry, of course, because it's it's not gel polish, so you want it to air dry. And once that's all done and top coated, we go with the hand file, just making sure that the shape is right, that there's no product anywhere that I don't want it to be. And yeah, just the nails look the best that they can. A lot of people don't really like doing this. For me, I feel like this helps retention a lot, because you're also, again, making the tips thinner. They look more natural, and you are removing the natural nail from underneath and making sure that that's not causing lifting. I don't always do this, but sometimes I do go back with the small carbide bit and make sure that the underneath looks as perfect as possible. And last but not least, I'm applying some cuticle oil. This is Salted Caramel by Hey Love. I love this. Not only the feel of the cuticle oil, but the smell. It's not too overwhelming for starters, which I wasn't sure I liked at the beginning, but now I'm a fan. And then I'm applying a cream, hand cream. This is from the Body Shop, which it's not closed after all. The website is up. What's going on there? Anyway, this is the Vanilla Pumpkin scent, which I love. It's my favorite, and it's from the autumn collection. I repeated the same for the other hand, and this is the end result. I really hope you like it as much as I do, and as much as she does, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!